Today is April 16th, 2025. My name is Nick Rich, and in today's forecast, we will go over low pressure systems that will bring rain and isolated snow to areas across the East Coast, along with the ongoing temperature fluctuations that are affecting the entire East Coast. And with that, let's get into the forecast. On your screen now is the GFS model. This just shows precipitation for the foreseeable future. This low pressure system that brought some showers will be moving or has moved offshore overnight. So right in this morning, this around 8 a.m., we could see some isolated snow in areas such as New York, Connecticut, New Hampshire, even as south as Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and very southern Maryland. As we move throughout the next few days, we could see some showers in New York and Pennsylvania. Nothing major though, just a few showers, no severe weather, maybe a little crack of thunder here and there. But then it starts the beginning of next week, Sunday into Monday, where this low pressure system will bring showers to the central U.S. or the central East Coast, I should say, sorry, specifically Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware area. This low pressure system is then going to move northeast, which I will show you in a minute. And that will bring rain to most of the northeast for a few days, or at least a day, but it will affect the northeast for a few days. Um, uh, and then Maine will get the heaviest rain and some isolated snow in there as well. This is the morning of April 24th, which is about 9 days from now, or about 8 days from now, sorry. So, and then that will promptly move offshore. And then we're pretty quiet for until like the 26th, 27th, which is a full week, like 2 weekends from now. So we won't get into that as it is so far away and we are uncertain about it. But as it gets closer, we will discuss the ongoing weather patterns. Pretty quiet day weather-wise, so we're just going to skip to the temperatures right away. This is the temperature anomaly. This model shows how above or below average the temperatures are going to be for the foreseeable future. And right now we are experiencing a cold air blast pretty much throughout the entire parts of the East Coast. Miami area is experiencing average temperatures, but the parts in the purple, the light purple, and the purple are like 8 to 10 degrees below average. The blue parts are around 2 to 6 degrees below average, so nothing crazy. Some parts aren't even noticeable, like in parts of Florida, but other parts you can tell it's colder than it should be. As we move on, this cold air blast is going to move out around the night of April 19th. And the morning of April 19th, most of the country, or most of the East Coast, sorry, is going to be in uh, warmer air, so we'll see elevated temperatures. This, oops, sorry, that warm air is going to be affecting most of the southern and central East Coast longer than it will be affecting the Northeast. And then a smaller cold air blast will be affecting Maryland, Pennsylvania, Jersey, Delaware specifically, along with northern states on the East Coast. Still, though, Florida will be experiencing slightly above average temperatures at least. And then to close out the month, the last few days of the month, northern parts of the East Coast experiencing colder temperatures, while southern parts are experiencing warmer than usual temperatures. And then around the 30th, we'll be in another cold air blast for much of the East Coast, all of it actually. Then here's the temperatures for the next high temperatures for the next 7 days. This is for today. As you can see, 80s around Florida, 70s all the way up through the Carolinas. And then once you hit the Carolinas, you'll hit the 60s. And we'll ride the 60s all the way to Maryland, 40s all the way up through Pennsylvania. And then New York to Maine will be high 30s, low 40s. Once we get to uh, Thursday, we could see as high as the high 80s, possibly a low 90, really southern, like around Miami area, and then 80s up through the Big Bend of Florida, 70s all the way through Southern Carolina, or South Carolina, sorry. North Carolina, Virginia, and parts of Maryland will be experiencing 60s, and then 50s will fly through the southern part of the Northeast, and then high 30s, low to mid 40s for the remainder of the East Coast. Going into Friday, pretty warm for most of the East Coast, 90s in Florida. As you get more into the northern part of Florida, you'll be experiencing low to mid 80s. And then we can see 80s as high as North Carolina, but then that starts to dip off 70s all the way through Maryland. And then we could see some actually we could see some 60s in parts of Maine and New Hampshire and Connecticut area. But other than that, most of the country is going to be experiencing pretty warm temperatures. You could see some high or low or mid to high 40s if you're in the New York and Pennsylvania area, central New York and central Pennsylvania. Moving on to this will be Saturday. Sorry, pretty high temperatures are just gonna or go more northward. Seeing we could see some 70s up in New Hampshire, Connecticut area, and we could see low 90s all the way down to Florida. And then back on the 21st of April, that is where things become more and more cooler across the country, I would say. We'll still see some 90s in Florida, all the way 80s up all the way through North Carolina. But once you hit Virginia, it kind of falls off to the 50s, and we ride the 50s all the way up through Maine. And then this is the 22nd, so this is the last day we'll cover. This is next Tuesday. 90s all the way in Florida, 80s through South Carolina, high 60s, low 70s North Carolina, and then once you hit Virginia, 50s all the way up through Maine, just like the 21st. And with that, that'll finish today's forecast. I hope to see you tomorrow, and I hope you have a great day.